Good afternoon. It is Jim Krautkremer, Motivated Seller Blueprint. I'm excited to be joining you today. Today, we're going to talk about the topic that I think every single one of us get asked whenever we're in a listing presentation. I think it even goes into when we're working with buyers, or perhaps we are recruiting someone to work for our team, a buyer's agent or an assistant. Or maybe even we're recruiting someone into our company or our office or whatever it might be. And that is the elevator speech. That is the unique selling proposition of why should I hire you, or what makes you different, or how do you stand out from everybody else, or with all of the competition out there, why are you so important? All of those things are really the same exact question. It's really getting down to what is going to make you stand out from everybody else? And I think you can look at that and call it a USP, a unique selling proposition. Oh, I think something happened to my video. I am back. I hope you are still there. I'm going to start breaking these down and really starting to dive into what these things are all about. So if you are joining me, whether you are watching this live today or whether you are jumping on a video and watching this down the road, please do me a favor. I just want you to check in with me and let me know where you are at. Go on over to your text chat over there on the right and just type in where you're from, and that'll let me know that we are good to go and off we run. So welcome. If you're just joining us, Jim Krautkremer here, Motivated Seller Blueprint. Let's get started. Over my, I guess it'd be my right-hand shoulder, over here, I want to start to talk about the things that can start separating not only yourself from the competition, but as well, what can start to separate your listings from the competition, and what can start to separate your marketing from the competition. And I want to give you a quick story of where all this started. I was having a conversation with my buddy. It was literally yesterday afternoon, and we were talking about this whole concept of what sets everyone apart. What sets a real estate agent apart from everyone else? What sets a listing apart from everybody else? And so we jumped on Google. We went to Google Images, and we just started researching business cards. And it's really funny. If you go to Google Images and research real estate business cards, they all look the same. They're all a bunch of glamour shots. It's got a picture of someone's head, probably pretty much about the same dimensions as mine. And then it has their name and their phone number, their mobile, why people still put fax on there. It's amazing to me. And then usually that's about it, and maybe some kind of background color. But what's really crazy is it never really makes anyone stand out. There's no real compelling reason on a business card of why anyone would want to do business with that particular person, whether on the front or the back. And that's just a crying shame. I don't know about you, but in my desk, if I pull out all my real estate business cards, there's hundreds and hundreds of them. And if they all basically have the same information, what is really making it stand out? And so we were kind of messing around, and we said, well, let's take this one step further. And what we did is we went to real estate signs. And the reason being is I don't think anyone really puts a whole lot of attention into signs anymore. But think about it. You go down the street, you see a for sale sign sitting in the yard, and it really doesn't do anything to market the house. It's really just a sign letting the world know that, yes, okay, that house is for sale, but it's really just a real estate agent. A lot of times there are pictures on it, there are companies on it, there are phone numbers on it, and they really don't do a whole lot to separate that house from all the other houses that are out there. And I realize that currently in our environment, there's not a whole lot of inventory out there. But what's really intriguing to me is every once in a while we'll see a rider out there that says 4 bedrooms or waterfront lot or something like that, bonus room, but really nothing at the point of sale. I call it at the point of sale, right there where the sign is in the front yard. Nothing really on the sign that screams why that house should sell better than any other house in the neighborhood. And I tell you what, if you really want to be kind of a disruptor in your market, start marketing at the point of sale on your sign with a rider, with a handwritten sign, custom make a sign, put an additional sign in the yard, whatever the case might be. Start marketing right at that point of sale of why that house should sell better than any other house in the entire neighborhood. That's a unique selling proposition. You start doing that at the point of sale, you're going to start getting some attention, and you're really going to start to drive a whole bunch of leads. I remember back in the day when I started back in 2001, yard signs were great. People were driving around pulling flyers. And then when it got really, really busy or really, really slow, we kind of stopped doing that. Well, I tell you what, with the lack of inventory right now, buyers are out there driving around, and they are driving, and they are pulling flyers, and they are at the point of sale, and they are doing everything they can to get information, because there are no listings out there. And if there are, they're going very, very quickly. So we're going to dive into what you can be doing with your signs at the point of sale, what you can be doing you as an individual at the kitchen table. So I see a bunch of people jumping on now. If you could just cruise on over in the chat, let me know where you are checking in from. That would be awesome. So let's get into what could you be talking about that makes that house a very special piece, a unique selling proposition. You may have jumped on this Facebook Live today to talk about what makes you special, but I want you to be very, very clear. There are unique selling proposition when it comes to all sorts of things. When it comes to dealing with sellers, you have to have a unique selling proposition. When it comes to dealing with buyers, you have to have one. When it comes to dealing with listings, you have to have one. When it comes to growing your team, you have to have one. When it comes time to grow your office, you have to have one. So think about this. I challenge my coaching clients all the time. If they say, Jim, I've got this listing out there that hasn't gotten sold yet, I challenge them and I say, well, what's the number one reason why that house should sell better than any other house in the entire neighborhood? And we love this conversation. It's really a great thing to think about. And if you start thinking about words that end in EST up there over my right-hand shoulder, newest, oldest, highest, lowest, longest, shortest, best, most, flattest, hilliest, cheapest, easiest, those are things that people are really attractive to. Those are great marketing words. If you say this is the best value price per square foot in the entire neighborhood, it's going to get a buyer's attention. If you say that it has the newest appliances of anyone out there, it's going to get people's attention. Hello, Belinda. How are you? Good to see you again. If you talk about the longest dock, for instance, if it's on the lake and it's important to have a long dock, if you talk about a long dock, maybe it's important to talk about the shortest dock. Maybe it's important to talk about the flattest backyard, the newest appliances, the oldest house in the community because maybe you're in a historic area, or the cheapest or the easiest. Any of those kinds of things are going to separate your listing from all of the other listings out there. And when you can put that in the front of your marketing comments, you are going to start to get people stopping from scrolling through, if you can see my thumb, scrolling through Zillow on their phone or at their computer at night. Get them to stop and start paying attention to your listing. Think about it. Most people are just booking through on Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com. They're swiping or scrolling through real fast. And if you have a compelling, unique selling proposition right up front that gets them to stop immediately and gets them to look at what's going on by using the EST words, newest, longest, flattest, hilliest, cheapest, easiest, those kinds of words, that's what's going to get people to stop and pay attention to your listing. Now, when we transfer that over into your unique selling proposition for you, the individual, this is where it gets much more deep. Is that a word? Much more deep? Deeper? Much deeper? Anyway, I think you know what I'm talking about. Your seller is going to look you in the eye and they're going to say, well, why should we hire you? What makes you different? How come you're better than all of the other agents out there? All of those questions are, once again, talking to your unique selling proposition. And I've seen a million of them over the years. To me, it really doesn't matter what your unique selling proposition is, but it matters that it can roll off your tongue, that it's nice and easy, that it vibes with you, that it's in tune with your energy and your spirit, because that's what's really, really important. Now, there's a few out there that are tried and true, and I absolutely love them. I'm sure that you've seen them in the past. I'm not sure who coined that original unique selling proposition. It might have been Craig Proctor back in the day. He certainly taught me a lot about real estate throughout my career, and perhaps you as well. But when it came to the elevator speech back in the day, I remember someone said, well, the best unique selling proposition in the world out there is I can sell your house for more money in less time, better terms than anyone else in the city. And I tell you, I still think that that is the best unique selling proposition out there, because that's what every seller wants. Look about it. Look at it and think about it. Most money, least amount of time, best terms than anyone else. That's exactly what a seller wants. Most sellers, and I don't mean every single seller in the world, most sellers out there want the most amount of money, least amount of time, best terms than anyone else. Think about from a buyer point of view. What does a buyer look for? Buyer wants less money, no competition, and best terms. That's what the buyers really want. So if you are working with buyers or you have a buyer agent team, what is your buyer unique selling proposition? Perhaps it's, I can help you find an off-market property with no competition, below market value, with the best terms than anyone else in the city. That is a wonderful, unique selling proposition. There are many, many more that you can create, and I just want to give you a couple examples so you can kind of think about what maybe it makes sense for you. I've seen this one most recently. If you buy your house, I'll sell this one for free. Think about that sitting on a rider on a yard sign. You buy this house, I'll sell yours for free. And you say, well, Jim, that doesn't make sense. I don't want to cut my commission. Yeah, but you're going to be double ending that property that you're marketing. I think it's absolutely brilliant. What about this one? I'll sell your house in 60 days or I'll sell it for free. I use that USP for probably 15 years of my career. It's still on my business cards. It is tried and true. It's been out there forever. And I got to tell you, I think it's a great time to be rolling out a sales guarantee right now. If you want to do some more investigating on sales guarantees, simply just go out there, research it. It is out there. But that is a great USP, a great unique selling proposition. How about this? 3 years ago, there wasn't a whole lot of new construction going on. But right now, there's new construction everywhere. What if you were to give a $2,500 coupon for any new construction purchase out there, as long as you represented the buyer? And you might say, well, Jim, I can't give money. Yes, you can, as long as it's disclosed on the HUD and everyone knows about it. But imagine this. What if you were running a Facebook group, or you put it on social media, and you put out there that you have a $2,500 coupon that can go out to any new construction properties right now, and you're going to be only giving away 5 of those in the month of March. Think about that. Could you use 5 brand new buyers in the month of March for new construction? I think it's wonderful. It's great for the buyer. It's great for the seller. It's great for you. It's great for everybody. And selling new construction is just marvelous because it's so darn easy. So perhaps there's a USP out there that involves a coupon. Perhaps there's a unique selling proposition that involves a guaranteed sale. Perhaps it is a service award. You'll answer your phone or get back to people within 1 hour, or blah, 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 whatever it might be. It really doesn't matter what your USP is, but what matters is you should be thinking about it like your elevator speech. So if you and I were together and we were going to be going up a 5-story building right now, and we're both on the ground floor, and we push that elevator button and we say, okay, we're going to go up to floor number 5. By the time you got up to the 5th floor and I asked you, hey, Belinda, hey, Tom, hey, Shelly, hey, Mick, why should I hire you? What makes you different? If you can describe what your unique selling proposition is before we get to the 5th floor, guess what? That's what it is all about. That doesn't mean you're going to describe every single benefit. That doesn't mean that you're going to give a listing presentation in 10 seconds or less. That means that you're going to have something very compelling, beneficial, huge value add, unique, delivers a giant service in very short amount of time. Mine always was, and I didn't coin this, I got this from someone else. Like I say, if I knew who gave it to me, I would give them credit. Mine was always, I'm going to sell your house for more money in less time and better terms than anyone else in the entire city. I think that's a wonderful USP for a seller out there. Even if you have heard that 1,000 times before, I got to tell you, I talk to real estate agents all over the country every single day of the week, and very, very rarely can an agent roll that off the tip of their tongue when I ask them what their USP is. So even though you've heard it out there, it is still tried and true and works very well. If you would like to type over into the comment section what you are currently using as a USP, I would love to hear it. Perhaps it's something that we're talking about on the board behind me. Perhaps you have something unique. Perhaps there's something out there compelling for you right now. So type it on over in the text chat if you have something that you are using that we're not talking about today. So elevator speech, very important. It has to roll off your tongue. It has to be something that is super value add. And as well, let me go to this side. I want you to think about, what does your seller really, 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 really want? What does your seller or your buyer really, 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 really want? If you have a seller, in most cases, they want more money, they want less time, less hassle, they want great terms. If you're talking about buyers, they want a great deal. They don't want to compete. They don't want to have multiple offers out there. And they want to be able to have wonderful terms so they can get repairs done and things like that. That's what buyers want. Perhaps they want some sort of guarantee. I think we could all agree that most of the population out there looks at us and says, okay, let's have that agent put their money where their mouth is, or how can we be sure that they're going to pay attention to me after my listing's been on the market for a while? So a sales guarantee is wonderful. And as well, sometimes it makes sense to offer some sort of coupon or something like that, especially new construction, and I highly recommend it in this environment because there's a lot going on. Just think about benefit, benefit, benefit. What will benefit that seller the absolute most, or that buyer the absolute most, in order to make it stand out of what makes you different than everyone else out there. So when you're sitting inside of your listing presentation and your seller says, so Jim, why should I hire you versus all the other agents out there? And I can say, because I'm going to sell your house for more money in less time than any other agent in the entire city. And they're going to say, well, how are you going to do that? And that's exactly what my listing presentation is, right? That's what your listing presentation should be. If you use a guaranteed sale and someone says, well, what makes you different than anyone else out there? I'm going to sell your house in 60 days or less, or I'm going to sell it for free. Well, how are you going to do that? Let me show you. That's exactly what the listing presentation is all about. So your USP is what's knocking on the door and getting you in the door. That's your marketing piece. That should be on your website. That should be on your email signature. That should be on your flyers. That should be at the point of sale. That should be in your social media. That should be absolutely everywhere is your USP. And then how you deliver your USP is inside of your consultation, either your listing presentation, your buyer consultation, or something very similar to that. That's how you deliver it. You explain it to them in those areas. So do you have any questions up until this point at all? If you do, please go ahead and type them into the chat. I would love to answer any of your questions, okay? I'm going to take just a swig of water. I'm glad you're joining us today. A lot of fun. Getting a lot of response from my email list, inside of Facebook, all kinds of people wanting to join the group and be a part of this training and part of these value adds that we're putting out there every day, so that's great. All right, you got any questions, or are we good? If you are good, I want to let you know something that I am up to. If you would be interested in taking your unique selling proposition to the next level and really putting that to use, and getting out there and working with more sellers and more sellers and more sellers, then I've got something for you. I haven't mentioned this in this group yet, but I have run this program for years and years. It is called 10 Listings in 10 Weeks. So I have a training that is 10 weeks long. Inside of the training, we set up a Facebook group very similar to this. We interact all the time throughout the course of the week. You and me and every member of the group. I support it with all kinds of videos, training videos, downloads, scripts, listing presentations. We jump on the phone, we talk, I help you along the way, mentor you along the way. And as well, we dive deep into things like, how do you market your property different than anyone else? How do you describe your listing presentation at the kitchen table? What do you do with pricing? What about negotiations? What about setting up your marketing funnels in order to get motivated sellers reaching out to you versus cold calling and lead generating all the time? I'm not a cold caller. I'm not a lead generator. I do not like dialing for dollars. I would much rather have my funnels work for me. So one of the key things that we do inside of Motivated Seller Blueprint, right, is we set up your lead funnels to get motivated sellers reaching out to you. So my 10 listing, 10 week program is exactly that. All the video modules, me working with you personally, we get inside of a group just like this, separate, private, it keeps the public out. This is a free group in here that we're doing inside of my 10 listing, 10 week program. That's a completely different group. You're going to have access to me personally along the way. That's really where I spend my entire day. And I've been doing this long enough, for 6 years now inside my coaching company. I see the results come through all of the time, and I am happy to put my money where my mouth is. I have a 2 listing guarantee. Anyone that joins 10 listings, 10 weeks, you will get 2 new listings while you are inside of that program, or you will remain a private client of mine until you do. And trust me, 2 listings will pay for that program 5-10 times over, because it's not that expensive of a program. So if that is for you, if that's something that sounds interesting to you and you want some more information, over in the comment section, just write the word me, M-E, just write me. I will see that come through, whether you're watching that live today or whether you are watching this on a replay. Just type the word in me if you want more information about 10 listings, 10 weeks, and my 2 listing guarantee. I'm going to send you a private Facebook message inside of Facebook Messenger. We could talk about it, jump on the phone, schedule a call, schedule a consultation, and we could talk about those details. So with that, you make it a wonderful day. I hope you got some great stuff out of unique selling proposition. You got some things about what you can do at the kitchen table in order to set yourself apart from everyone else. And importantly as well, you should have a unique selling proposition for your sellers, for your buyers, for your office, for your team. And you should always be describing that USP, not only for your listings, but for yourself as well. And the better you are at languaging how your unique selling proposition is for your listings, your unique selling proposition for your buyers, and your unique selling proposition for yourself, the better you are at languaging all of those things, the more business is going to flow your way. If you want to take that to the next level, like I talk about, type the word me inside of the comment section, and I will reach out and we can set up a time to chat about my 10 listing, 10 week program. With that, thanks for joining. Hope you have an awesome day today. Jim Krautkremer signing off, Motivated Seller Blueprint. Have a beautiful day. Bye.